If you've been watching this channel for a little while, you probably know how I feel about the Anbernic RG35XX. This is my first retro handheld console, and I really do enjoy this thing. I posted a ton of videos on it, videos about a custom firmware for it. You're going to be in a playlist of videos right now. And for someone like me that really does enjoy this thing, even though it only costs shipping, taxes, everything, maybe $70, $75, you might want to really do a little bit more to keep this thing nice and safe and protected. It may have actually came with a screen protector in the box, if I'm remembering correctly, but I didn't put it on because I cannot do screen protectors. There's always a bubble or a tiny piece of dust under there, and it drives me insane, so I almost never do screen protectors. So what might you do? This thing isn't going to have a ton of accessories, right? This isn't a Nintendo product. But due to the fact that we live in a world where 3D printing is a thing, you can kind of get around this a little bit. And in fact, somebody reached out to me just the other day and sent me here, which is a listing on Etsy, for a 3D printed cover for this device. They reached out and they said, hey, I want to send you this thing. If you want to talk about it, review it on the channel, I will even give you a link, not a link, a discount code, which is Shane Craig, one word, for 15% off this thing. So I said, sure, send it on out. They've got different colors, transparent blue. Yeah, there you go. There's a whole bunch of different colors you can choose to put on this thing. So at any rate, I'm rambling. They sent the thing out. I've got it here. I've just taken it out of the box, but I've really not even like touched it or looked at it. So we're going to switch to the overhead camera now, and we're going to determine what kind of job I think this thing is actually going to do of protecting this handheld. So the first thing I'm noticing here is that we have this hexagon pattern, which I believe is there for structural integrity. Ooh, that is actually very, very interesting because I had it upside down. Because if you look here very closely, the hexagon is rigid. But what is in between? Can you see here? Maybe if I get this just right, maybe you can, maybe you can't. But what's on top of it is actually squishy. It's actually giving. And if I go around to the inside, same thing, it gives on either side. You may have also noticed that there is a gap here where I believe the buttons are going to be sitting to give room to those buttons in there so that they're not shoved up against anything. There's actually a little cutout here on the bottom, which I'm assuming is going to line up with the USB-C port so that charging is going to be just fine with this thing on. And it does have, like, it's a lot more flexible than I was expecting, right? The only other 3D printed thing I have here is my Duo dock, which is a stand that charges my Surface Duo, and this thing is hard. And I guess it just hadn't occurred to me that you can print things in softer materials. Duh, I guess that just makes sense. So let's pop this thing on here and let's see how well this all fits. Oh, that fits like a glove, guys. That is absolutely, man, like that fits like it was it fits like it was made for it. Go figure. How funny is that? And there you go. You can see that the buttons are you can kind of see them through it. The buttons are not being pressed or anything. And because it's a softer material, I'm not really worried about anything being up against that screen in there. How easy is it to take off? You just kind of peel it off. No big deal at all. Yeah, look at that. So that's definitely going to protect your screen, and it's not going to have, you know, those potential pitfalls of a screen protector like I was talking about earlier, where there's bubbles and all kinds of horrible stuff. This feels, and look, here's another thing. It's not coming off unless you want it to. So you could put this thing on and then throw it into a bag or whatever, and you're not going to have to worry about this thing falling off. Now, I will say that like anything that's 3D printed, there are some little imperfections here and there, but it's really, really minimal. Maybe you can see right there's a spot of some like discoloration right above my right index finger. Kind of hard to get on camera there, but it's there. There's also a little bit of like fibers kind of left over in here, but I think, ooh, that's a rough feeling and I don't want to touch that again. There's some little fibers there that I think you could just easily get rid of yourself. Just stuff from the 3D printing process. They're loose and those things are going to come off. Other than that though, nothing too serious. There's a little imperfection down here. Almost looks like a seam or something, but it is definitely together. Like it's not a tear or a rip. So nothing that's going to be like structurally problematic. So as I put this thing back on here and we jump over to that listing here on Etsy. Let's add this to the cart. I've never shopped on Etsy before. And let's apply a promo code, which is my name. Let's make sure this is all working. $13.24 before tax and shipping. Yeah, I think that's, honestly, I think that's a pretty reasonable amount to charge for something like this. This doesn't strike me as somebody that's like going way overboard in terms of what they're charging. I think that this will do a pretty good job of protecting your handheld. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to drop a link in the description with my promo code. Let me make sure that I'm crediting the person who sent it to me. Brennan, huge shout out. Thank you for wanting to send it over to me to check it out. That was very cool of you. Hopefully I can send some people your way, because I think that you've made a pretty basic but pretty cool product that I think is going to potentially fill a niche that is there. Because like I said, you're not going to go to Best Buy or Walmart and buy accessories for this thing. So how cool is that someone like Brennan here can just solve the problem themselves, 3D print something themselves, and you can buy it directly from them via Etsy. Use my promo code, save a little bit of money. Very, very cool stuff. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.